straight to the point, engaging the audience. Have you ever felt like people don't take you seriously? Maybe you've been interrupted mid-sentence, mocked in public, or had your ideas dismissed in a meeting. It's frustrating, isn't it? But what if I told you that earning respect isn't about demanding it, it's about the way you carry yourself? The world doesn't give respect to those who ask for it. It gives it to those who embody it. And the secret? Stoic philosophy has been teaching this for over 2,000 years. In this video, I'll show you 5 powerful Stoic principles that will immediately change the way people perceive and respect you, without you having to raise your voice or prove yourself. By the end of this, you'll walk into any room with confidence, composure, and quiet authority. Let's dive in. 1. How to earn respect through Stoic principles. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone publicly disrespects you, perhaps through a sarcastic remark, an offhand joke, or an attempt to belittle you in front of others? These moments can leave you feeling undervalued and even humiliated. However, the way you respond can determine whether you lose dignity or command greater respect. The truth is, you have far more control over these situations than you might think. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, understood that respect is not demanded, it is cultivated through how we carry ourselves. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated in Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This means that rather than reacting emotionally to disrespect, you should focus on maintaining composure and self-respect. Your calmness and confidence are your ultimate weapons. Many people assume that being disrespected means the other person has a personal grudge against them. However, as Seneca pointed out, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Often, people who belittle others do so not because they hate you, but because they seek to elevate themselves. This is a form of social opportunism. People try to stand out by making others look weak. It happens in the workplace, in social circles, and even within families. The key to commanding respect is to recognize this dynamic and refuse to play into it. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most respected philosophers of his time, taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When faced with disrespect, you must resist the urge to react impulsively. Instead, respond with poise. The moment you allow someone else's words to dictate your emotions, you give them control over you. True strength lies in emotional self-mastery. To ensure that others respect you, you must first respect yourself. This means setting clear boundaries and demonstrating that you will not be shaken by petty insults or condescending remarks. Respect is not won through aggression or loud retaliation, it is won through unwavering self-control. The person who remains composed in the face of disrespect will always hold more power than the one who lashes out. So, the next time you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation, pause, breathe, and remember this. Respect is not about making others fear you, it's about making them recognize your unwavering sense of self-worth. As Marcus Aurelius would say, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. B1. 2. First impressions. The silent language of respect. First impressions are more powerful than we often realize. They set the tone for how others perceive us and, more importantly, how they treat us. The Stoics understood this deeply. Our actions, no matter how small, reflect our character and values. As Marcus Aurelius stated in Meditations, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The way you present yourself, even in seemingly insignificant moments, shapes how others respect and respond to you. Imagine walking into a professional event. Someone approaches you, extends their hand for a greeting, but instead of standing up, you remain seated, barely glancing at them before shaking their hand. What does this subtle action communicate? Whether intentional or not, it conveys a lack of engagement, diminishing the sense of mutual respect. Now, contrast that with someone who rises to shake hands, maintains steady eye contact, and greets others with quiet confidence. That person commands respect without needing to demand it. Seneca, in his letters, wrote, "A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is." This principle applies to respect as well. You are as respected as you convince others you deserve to be. Simple, deliberate actions, like standing when greeting someone, speaking with clarity, or maintaining open body language, subtly reinforce your self-worth. These behaviors don't just signal confidence, they shape the way people engage with you in the long run. In modern psychology, this is often referred to as the halo effect, the idea that a strong first impression influences how people perceive everything about you. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Epictetus taught that it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. If you carry yourself with an air of self-respect, others will be inclined to respect you in return. Conversely, if your body language conveys disinterest or weakness, people will unconsciously take you less seriously, no matter how intelligent or capable you are. This is why Stoicism emphasizes controlling what you can, your actions, your demeanor, and your presence. You may not be able to control how someone initially perceives you, but you can set the conditions for respect by ensuring that your first impression is strong, deliberate, and aligned with your values. So, next time you meet someone new, whether at work, in social circles, or even a casual encounter, rise to the occasion. Stand with confidence, look them in the eye, and remember, respect begins the moment you decide to embody it. 3. Mastering interruptions. The power of presence and composure. Being interrupted mid-conversation, especially in a public setting, can feel like a direct challenge to your authority and respect. Many people's instinctive reaction is to either fight for control of the conversation or retreat into silence, feeling powerless. However, Stoicism teaches us that true power lies not in controlling others but in controlling ourselves. As Epictetus wisely stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The next time someone interrupts you, resist the urge to respond emotionally. Instead, embrace a simple yet powerful Stoic technique: pause and hold a steady, composed gaze. This small action carries more weight than most people realize. It subtly communicates that you are aware of the disruption, that you do not appreciate it, and that you will not allow your presence to be diminished. Your silence and poise can often be more commanding than raising your voice. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This principle is especially relevant when dealing with interruptions. Reacting with frustration or aggression only lowers you to the level of the interrupter. Instead, maintaining calm control of the moment demonstrates strength and self-respect. A composed pause forces the other person to acknowledge their behavior, often making them feel the weight of their own disrespect. I once witnessed a CEO handle an interruption with remarkable grace. During a heated business discussion, someone cut him off mid-sentence. Instead of raising his voice or demanding to be heard, he simply paused, turned to the interrupter, and locked eyes with them. The room fell silent. After a few moments, the interrupter awkwardly stopped speaking. Realizing they had overstepped, the CEO then calmly resumed his point, as if nothing had happened. That moment commanded more respect than any loud rebuttal ever could. Seneca reminds us, "He who is brave is free," and bravery, in moments of disrespect, is often found in restraint rather than reaction. When you hold your ground with dignity, you communicate an unspoken truth. Your words matter, and you will not be easily dismissed. So, the next time someone interrupts you, don't rush to reclaim your space with force, reclaim it with presence. Pause, hold your ground, let your calm composure do the talking. Respect is not taken, it is earned through the way you carry yourself in the face of challenge. 4. Defeating public humiliation with Stoic composure. Being mocked or humiliated in front of others can be an incredibly uncomfortable experience. The natural reaction for many is to fire back with a defensive remark or let emotions take over. But Stoicism teaches us a more powerful response, one that allows us to maintain control and command respect. As Epictetus wisely put it, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. The real power, then, is in choosing how to react. When someone tries to humiliate you with a joke at your expense, instead of reacting emotionally, pause and ask them to repeat it. This is not an act of confusion, but a strategic move. By making them restate the joke, you force them to confront their own words, often stripping them of their intended impact. What was once a seemingly sharp, cutting remark now feels forced and unnatural the second time around. Laughter fades, and awkward silence replaces it. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, you always have the option of having no opinion. You are not required to be offended, nor are you obligated to engage in someone else's game. By refusing to react with anger or shame, you deny them the control they seek. When a joke is aimed to make you look small, it only succeeds if you give it power. I once observed a man handle an embarrassing joke masterfully. During a dinner with friends, someone mocked an awkward incident from his past, expecting a reaction. Instead of showing discomfort, he simply smiled, leaned in slightly, and said, "I didn't quite catch that. Could you say it again?" The person who made the joke hesitated, suddenly aware of the weight behind their words. They stammered through a half-hearted repetition, but the room had already shifted. The laughter was gone. By maintaining his composure, he turned the moment around without saying anything offensive or defensive. Seneca teaches us, a wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. When faced with public humiliation, remember this. You are in control of your response. Asking someone to repeat their joke isn't just about making them rethink their words, it's a statement. It says, I am not shaken by your attempt to embarrass me. My self-worth is not dictated by your words. So next time you're faced with public humiliation, don't react. Respond with calmness and confidence. Let the weight of their words fall on them, not you. That is the essence of true respect. 5. Mastering provocation. The power of redirection. At some point in life, you will face a moment when someone deliberately tries to provoke you, perhaps by bringing up a past failure, making a pointed remark about your shortcomings, or attempting to stir negative emotions in front of others. The real challenge isn't in what they say, but in how you respond. Stoicism teaches us that we do not control the words or actions of others, we only control our reactions. As Epictetus put it, it is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. When someone tries to provoke you, your greatest weapon is not engaging in their negativity. Instead, redirect the conversation entirely. Imagine someone at a family gathering making a passive-aggressive comment about your career, expecting you to feel embarrassed or defensive. Rather than reacting emotionally, take a brief pause and ask an unrelated, neutral question. You could say, by the way, does anyone know a good bakery around here? I was thinking about picking up something nice for our next get-together. This simple move does two things. First, it diffuses the tension, and second, it robs the instigator of the reaction they were hoping for. Suddenly, the focus shifts away from their attempt to undermine you, leaving them without a foothold. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Strength does not come from winning arguments or proving a point. True strength is the ability to dictate the emotional tone of any interaction. By refusing to be baited into negativity, you show a level of self-mastery that commands respect. I once saw a businessman handle a moment like this flawlessly. During a heated discussion, a colleague made a pointed remark about his past failure in front of others. Instead of justifying himself or firing back, he smiled and said, "That reminds me. I read an interesting article about business trends the other day. Have you seen it?" The conversation immediately pivoted. His ability to control the emotional direction of the room was far more powerful than any defensive response. Seneca reminds us, he who angers you conquers you. The moment you allow someone to provoke you into an emotional reaction, you hand them power over your state of mind. Instead, when faced with provocation, stay calm, redirect, and rise above the attempt. So the next time someone tries to push your buttons, don't give them the satisfaction. Redirect, stay composed, and watch as you maintain complete control, not just over the conversation, but over yourself. 6. The strength in walking away. Knowing your worth. There comes a moment in life when you must make a difficult decision, to walk away from a situation, a relationship, or even a workplace that no longer respects or values you. Many people hesitate to do this, fearing it may make them seem weak or as if they're admitting defeat. However, Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in knowing our own worth and refusing to remain in places where we are not valued. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." The lesson here is profound. We are not bound to tolerate environments that erode our self-respect. The power to leave is always within our hands, and choosing to walk away is often the most dignified action we can take. Consider a talented professional, working tirelessly at a company that consistently overlooks her contributions. She stays, hoping that if she works harder, she will eventually earn the respect she deserves. But after months, or even years, of frustration, she realizes something. Respect cannot be begged for. It must be freely given. In one defining moment, she calmly closes her laptop, stands up, and walks out, not in anger, but in self-preservation. Seneca wisely stated, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." This means surrounding yourself with people and environments that recognize your worth. If you constantly have to fight to be seen, you are in the wrong place. Walking away is not about proving a point to others, it's about proving to yourself that your time, energy, and dignity are too valuable to be wasted on those who refuse to acknowledge them. Some may argue that leaving is an act of surrender, but true Stoic wisdom teaches us that staying in a place that diminishes your sense of self is the real defeat. Walking away is an act of reclaiming your power. It sends a clear message: I know my worth, and I will not allow it to be diminished. Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. To master yourself means to recognize when a situation no longer serves you and to have the courage to step away. Respect isn't something you chase, it's something you cultivate by how you choose to live. So, the next time you find yourself in a place where your value is ignored, remember this. Sometimes the most powerful move is simply to leave the table where your presence is no longer appreciated. 7. The true path to respect. Mastering yourself first. Many people believe that respect is something to be demanded, that by asserting dominance, raising their voice, or retaliating against those who belittle them, they will force others to acknowledge their worth. But Stoic philosophy teaches us a deeper truth. Respect is not taken, it is earned through unwavering self-mastery. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. B1. Respect does not come from trying to convince others of your worth through words. It comes from embodying the qualities that naturally command admiration. People do not respect aggression or desperation, they respect composure, integrity, and quiet confidence. Consider two people faced with the same challenge. One is openly defensive, fighting for validation, while the other remains calm, unshaken, and firm in their beliefs. Who do you think earns more respect in the end? The one who remains in control. The moment you allow someone else's actions to dictate your emotions, you hand them power over you. This is why self-control is the foundation of respect. Epictetus wisely said, if you wish to be in control of your soul, give up these things: fear, regret, resentment, and excessive desire. The person who is desperate for validation will always be controlled by the opinions of others. But the one who knows their worth and does not waver in the face of disrespect is truly free. I once saw a man handle an unfair situation with profound wisdom. He was publicly criticized at a meeting by a colleague who wanted to undermine him. Instead of retaliating or defending himself aggressively, he simply listened, nodded, and responded with one thoughtful sentence. Then, he moved on without dwelling on the attack. The result? He earned more respect in that single moment than the person who tried to humiliate him. His restraint proved his confidence. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Many people waste time chasing approval, battling disrespect, or trying to force others to acknowledge their value. But true respect is built by those who focus on being rather than proving. So, if you want to be respected, don't demand it. Become the kind of person who naturally commands it. Master yourself first, and others will follow. Respect isn't given, it's cultivated. It doesn't come from arguing, demanding, or proving yourself to others. It comes from how you carry yourself, how you react to challenges, and how well you master your emotions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Now, you have the tools to command respect effortlessly. Apply these Stoic strategies, and watch how people start treating you differently. So, which one of these principles resonated with you the most? Drop a comment below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson on mastering life with Stoic wisdom. Remember, respect starts from within. Own your presence, command the room, and I'll see you in the next video.